Robotic skeleton. This is the picture I made. Mastery of technology. One of the hardest parts of making the skeleton was the rib cage. I had to shape each individual pipe to make the ribs. First you have to go to edit, then down to transform. Then you'll go over to warp, click on it, and it'll bring up a grid. You can pull different parts of the grid to change how the pipe appears. If you want to give it an upwards curve, you could pull the two sides up and the middle down. If you wish to do the opposite, you just pull the sides down and the middle up. This is how you could get different pictures to form to how you'd like them. Satisfied with how the picture looks, apply the transformation. Background change. So first you will two-finger click on background. You will then go to duplicate layer. You can name this layer whatever you want. In this case, I'll just name it background change. After that, you will want to go to your cloning tool. If you hit option and then click, it'll tell you what color you're going to color with. When you do this, make sure your opacity is at 100% or else it'll look like that. When at 100% opacity, it'll cover up the background, the same color of where your alt thing is. Then you can just fill in over your picture however you'd like. Make sure when you do this, you do not go too far in, otherwise it'll look all one color or you'll start getting the outside of the picture to appear. Mastery of technology. This is the tutorial I used. That ended up not being the tutorial I used. The tutorial I had used had been, I could no longer use it without paying. Luckily for me, though, the tutorial lasted until the day after the project was due. The project plan review. I learned that sticking to a plan is huge. About 1 or 2 weeks into the project, I became extremely lazy. It worked very slow, or maybe didn't work at all. A week before the project was due, I realized I was screwed. So I had to start working just crazy. I stayed up until at least 11 at night, working on the project. Had I worked on it sooner, it probably would have ended up better. This was my final result. Some parts don't look too good, but for the most part, I like it. Some of my favorite parts would be the shoulders, if you just ignore the boxing gloves, and then the heart I put in the middle. The heart was kind of interesting though, because you had to get it behind some of the ribs, but in front of others. So that was kind of hard. What I learned, I should have never slacked off. That made my project go from what it should have been, probably a great picture, down to just an okay picture. If I could redo my project, I would obviously make sure I'd started right away. I also would have asked for help when I didn't understand the tutorial. Overview continue. Probably my biggest successful moment was when I finished my project 1 in the morning it was due. Although I should have done better, it was still an amazing feeling to get it done. Thanks for watching. Oh, by the way, here's a bonus clip.